Welcome back. Today is TGIF. We are on a Friday on the 21st of October. Time check 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's 10:30 p.m. Singapore Asia time. Welcome back. Good to have you back again. And we're going to continue part two from where we left off yesterday. We spoke a great length of deal on Tesla itself. But today, as the market shows, holy moly, we are resilient. And here we go. Dow Jones rises 300 points. That's what you want to read up right there. 300 points as short-term in yields fall on the potential for Fed to slow rate hikes. So, come on, this is a glimmer of hope right now about the Fed wanting to slow the rate hikes. That is a great piece of news. So, from this piece, kind of a move the market today, I just bring you guys straight away to the homepage of cnbc.com. All right. So this is the place we zoom in to look at the three major indices: S&P 30 in the green, S&P 5, Dow Jones 30 in the green, S&P 500 in the green, Nasdaq 100 in the green. Three green. We have a bull right now. Now, is this bull is going to sustain and really push it through? Now, that really depends, because I go straight right now to the Dow Jones Index. Now, typically on the Dow Jones Index, what we want to see is right over here. Do we have a green candle? Yes, and I'm going to just zoom in right here and check this out. We have a positive green candle right here. And I think what the market is expecting is for it to break the 31,000 points. This will be an important inflection point. Once you kind of break it through, boom, you start going up, all right? But there are telltale signs. We are very, very near to the midterm election, really nerve-wracking. That's coming out on the 8th of November. You want to check that out. And, there's another few important data points that we got to bring in out to let everybody be aware. Now, always, I want to bring out this very important chart, kind of talking about the rally. And, if we don't understand the Christmas rally, then we're going to give up a lot of things, all right? So let me bring this out. And the thesis remains the same, doesn't change. And here we go. We are sitting right here on 21st of October. And of course, we're going to have a major event coming out on the 2nd. That is the FOMC interest rate hike. All right. So we got one more week. And then the following week after that will be the FOMC rate hike on 2nd November. This is the first time I bring to attention. It's a reverse in sequence. Typically within the month, the inflation data will be published first, step one. Then 1 or 2 weeks later on, the FOMC will conduct their meeting to announce the interest rate hikes. All right. So there's a change of sequence right here. And then, of course, I got the 8th of November pointing right there. This is the major midterm election. All right. So the politicians are pulling out all their tricks at this moment. And 2 days after midterm election on the 10th, we're going to have the CPI inflation data being released. All right. So kind of a nerve-wracking period right now. And what is really important is a continuation of where we left off yesterday. We spent a great deal of time talking about Tesla. But if you look at Tesla itself, we were trading it yesterday, and holy moly, somebody else was trading alongside with us. So I received this email today at 8 a.m. Singapore time. Here we go. So we got a tracker on Katie Wood, and every day we send out this trade notification. Kind of depends on how fast our robot tabulate the results. This came out at 8:02 a.m. Singapore time. All right. There's only one purchase made yesterday by Katie Wood, and that's none other than Tesla. $13.7 million poured into Tesla, and she is averaging up. Now, her average price for Tesla is much lower than what she paid yesterday. She's averaging up, all right? But for the rest of it all, in order to buy 13.7, she has to sell a lot more to raise the cash. So typically, this is a strategy. She sold about $21.6 million, raised the cash, and take the cash to pump in to buy up Tesla. So this is how it goes for a standard ETF, exchange traded fund. All right. So this is under ARK Innovation exchange traded fund, and we kind of look at it and say, hey, not too bad. We are trading alongside with Katie Wood, and then we come back right here. This is the headline coming out today, and in fact, it was much slower than our published time. All right, so because they came out at Friday, 8:08 a.m. Eastern Time, that will translate to 8:08 p.m. Singapore time. While I received the email just now, 12 hours earlier, I received it at 8 a.m. Singapore time versus what you see in front here, 12 hours later, 8 p.m. Singapore time. All right. So we are taking a look at this interesting article, sell off, and this is where, you know what, the really diehard fans who come in to support the price because we know this is unreasonable sell off. All right. So back then, Tesla was the second biggest holding under ARK Innovation Fund, accounting for 9% of the ETF. Now, Zoom Video recently took the first spot in the ETF after Wood bought the dip in the beaten down name. So from this point, I'm going to go back to our database. This is our proprietary data. And we say, okay, where does it stand right now? For Katie Wood, she's holding on 139 different stocks under her ARK ETF holdings. That means comprising of all her ARK funds, right? So we are checking out every single ARK fund under her. And here we go. Tesla is back on the number one spot. And this is like standing at 810 million. Just kind of a 35 million above Zoom at 775. But what you get to see is that the average cost of all her investment kind of tapered down already. She's in the red at this moment. All right, she's in the red. So I need to correct myself. I think if 313 was her average cost, and yesterday if she went out there to buy Tesla, she's averaging down, not averaging up. All right. So every single position is in the red. That's the reality of the market. So I want to kind of address this thing right now. For some of you out there who have never invested in the market, and you say, oh my gosh, how could this everything turn red? Is the fund manager, is the portfolio manager, is the chief investment officer sleeping on his or her job? Let me give you an outright answer to this question explicitly. No. It depends on the fund strategy. There are three scenarios right now that you can do whenever the stock price goes down. All right. Let's go through it right now. Three scenarios. Number one, you can always take on a stop loss position. That means after you buy, take for example, you buy a share at $10 per piece. All right. And you apply kind of like, or I round it off, 100 is easier. Take for example, you own a piece of a company, $100 per share. So step number one, you can put a $10 stop loss. So the moment for $100 drop to $90, boom, you're out. You take a 10% stop loss. This is scenario number one of your option. Scenario number two, as the price drops from 100 to 90, you say, hey, it's cheaper right now. Let me buy some more shares at $90. Number two means averaging down. And what you observe and studied in Katie Wood, she's the number one queen of averaging down. She's the queen of falling knives. Every time the knives fall down, she'll catch it. Blood in her hands, but she'll average down. So that's your option number two. Or option number three, don't do anything. As the guy goes down, you just say, hang on for the ride. I'm not going to average down. I'm not going to put a stop loss. I want to hang out for the ride because the fundamentals don't change. The market has changed, but the fundamentals of each company, they do not change. Of course, we are all affected by micro and macro environmental factors. So it depends on what is your thesis. Is there a right or wrong answer to that? Let me tell you, there's no right or wrong because over time, everybody wins. You give yourself an investment horizon of 10 to 50 years, I guarantee you, you will make money. Guaranteed. But if you squeeze that time from 10 years to 5 years to 2 years, 2 years to 1 year, 1 year to 1 quarter, 1 quarter to 1 month, 1 month to 1 week, 1 week to 1 day, it becomes more difficult. That's why I dedicated one chapter just on the art of time squeeze in my upcoming book. I say, hey, if we can squeeze the time to within 1 day, in fact, to a few minutes, and can kind of generate the kind of 10% return or 5% return, as opposed what most people out there attempted to make 5 to 10% profit return in 1 year, then we have kind of a, accelerated or compounded the growth effect. But in a current dire situation in the market where everything is kind of falling apart, the opportunities for us to exploit the art of the time squeeze is much, much smaller window. And that's the reason why it depends on what is your investment thesis. Do you want to do it like Katie Wood, average down every time the price goes down? She buy more, buy more, buy more. And buy until to the extent, can you believe Zoom is her number 2 stock in the entire portfolio of an exchange traded fund? Can you imagine Zoom? That's her conviction. Right or wrong, nobody got the answer until the time plays out. But clearly, I want you all to see there are different approaches to investing. So it doesn't mean you're in the red, you're going to be in the red forever. And it also doesn't mean you're in the green and you don't want to take a profit, you're going to be in the green forever. So all this comes in tactical maneuvers. It really depends on the big battle between your fear and your greed. How much pain can you absorb? We spoke about pain a few nights ago, and I was asking everybody, what is your pain threshold? Do you love pain or not? Because if you cannot handle pain, then you're not cut out for the market. In fact, you're not cut out for life, because life is all about pain. There'll be disappointments, there'll be rejections, there'll be losses, there'll be so many things in life. I call it the ups and downs, and sometimes the worst case scenario is presented as the valley of the shadow of death. How many of you have walked through it before and survived? That's what I'm talking about. So investing, look at it as a game. And this game of Tesla is really kind of a mind-boggling, right? So I want to show you, after kind of having a deep dive into Tesla, and then we look at Katie Wood, and then we look at the stock chart. So I'm going to bring out the stock chart right now. This is the intraday chart. So remember, we're going to continue from yesterday. Kind of from here, it dropped down and boom, went up. Was attempting to cross above, but didn't. Went down again. Then you go ding dong, and right now you ding dong at $207 per share. Right? So this is the reality of the market. It is what it is right now. So I'm going to take out another article right now to give you a balanced view of the founder of Tesla. All right? And he's telling us this. Here we go. Elon Musk says a global recession could last until the spring of 2024. Now, for us in Asia, I mean, spring, autumn, winter, summer, we are not really familiar with the dates, all right? Because whole year round, we are just sunny and rain. So I kind of do a little search. What do you mean by the spring of 2024? I listed out the dates right here in front of you, right? Spring 2004 starts from March 20th and ends 21st of June. All right? Now, literally, I would think about 4, 5, 6 means April, May, and June. That means my mind is switched on. My antenna goes up. I think about Q2 2024. All right? So what is this Q2 2024 all about? He's telling us that the recession, the global recession, could last until Q2 of 2024. That is the message from Elon Musk. Does it carry weight? Let me look at you straight in the eyes. Absolutely. Which other business like Elon Musk have to score through the entire planet Earth looking for raw materials, looking for land to set up the gigafactories, and looking for outlets to sell the car? This guy is a global guy. And I think he's giving us the grassroots feedback. So I want to dive into this article and put forward the argument, is this valid or not? All right. So not only Elon Musk is talking about this, he becomes the latest corporate titan to express reservations about the economy, joining Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon, JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon, and Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. Here we go. Tough article. All right. Very, very tough. In a Twitter exchange early Friday morning, which is today, the Mercurial electric car executive and world's richest man said a recession could continue until spring of 2024. We got it. That's quarter two, 456, April, May, June. The remarks came in response to a tweet from Shibetoshi Nakamoto, the online name for Dogecoin co-creator Billy Markus, who noted that current coronavirus numbers are actually pretty low. I guess all we have to worry about now is the impending global recession and nuclear apocalypse. I spoke about the tossing of coin. You seen it. Chinese war, oil war, inflation war that will lead to a global recession, and followed by the nuclear war. It's all right here. It sure would be nice to have 1 year without a horrible global event, Musk replied. The Tesla owner Silicon Valley, a Twitter account with nearly 600,000 followers, then asked Musk how long he thought the recession would last, to which he replied, just guessing, probably until spring of 2024. What is the spring of 2024? It goes this way. In that spring or in that Q2 window, let me remind all of our audience here tonight, we're going to have the fourth Bitcoin halving event over the last 4 years. The last time was 12th of May, 2020. You add another 4, that will be 2024, and we'll fall right smack in the Q2 window. I think the calculation right now is around March, April 2024. That to me is a permanent time trigger locked in my mind. There's a Bitcoin halving, and typically Bitcoin halving on the first day precedes the big movement of the Bitcoin pricing itself. Then you fast track that Q2 to Q4 of 2024, we're going to have the presidential election in November. A time to change the incumbent who messed up on the inflation. It's a big time. And the more I look at it, who's going to be the platform to influence everybody? Let me tell you, it'll be Twitter. Elon Musk is not going after Twitter because he loves spam bots, but because it's going to be a platform of influence, a kingmaker, kind of a. And between now to Q2 of 2024, let's talk about 2023 first. I'll be breaking down, I want to really nail it down, the precise time when the terminal rate of interest rate will hit. I suppose to be February, March, April, that kind of period. And once we hit the terminal rate, by then, if the interest rate has gone up too high and the real inflation on the ground has gone down too low, that is the staging for a global recession. That's it. It's very simple. So if you think about Q2, which is 4, 5, 6, April, May, June, to be the window for the terminal rate for the interest rate to hit, that means hit the peak of the interest rate and thereafter start to drop. And you calculate from Q2 2023 to Q2 2024, that's 1 year of pain. I want to check how many of you can sustain 1 year of pain, right? And I have a follow-up question for that. Typically, unless you need a heart transplant, don't rush to sell off at a loss. Hang on, just hang on. Don't rush. I mean, you are all okay, healthy, other than your mind right now, a bit cuckoo right here, but don't worry, we sort it out in the YouTube live stream, all right? But other than that, look at yourself. You're healthy, you're happy, you're energetic, you're still alive. You've got to be grateful, all right? So there's no rush to do like a heart transplant and you're telling everybody, oh, we need everything. We need everything to raise cash. No such thing. You don't need everything. There's no rush for you to do that unless it's a heart transplant, all right? The only problem you're really dealing with is the messed up psychology right here. You can't take the pain. And I understand. Some of you, little bit, you say, I cannot handle already. Some of you can handle a lot more pain, but it's much easier. We do it as a community. That's why I started this 100-day stock market inspiration. Today is day 99. Tomorrow will be the last video for this entire series of the 100-day stock market inspiration. I got a lot of things to talk about, but I'm rethinking the strategy. All right, so one more day, maybe I will give you the revelation tomorrow. But let's come back. All right, you understand the window, you understand the impact. We are already Q4 2022. The market, it is what it is. Okay, so coming to this point, I really can't stand some people, always will always ask self-defeating question. Oh, the market is terrible, the market is horrible. And I'll look at them and say, so what? What do you expect? The market, it is what it is. That's the reality of the market. How much more grievances you want to pour out? It is what it is. This is the reality of the market. Okay? So I want to encourage you, rather than go into that self-dive into kind of a self-PT and kind of a keep looking at the market with kind of white eyes and you are unhappy with the market. No, don't do that. What I want to encourage you to do is start looking for all these timeline. I love to see numbers. I love to see timeline. And Elon Musk just given me and given all of you Q2 2024, which I reverse back. That will be Q2 2023. We will most likely hit the terminal rate because the Fed has already been blindsided since last year. This year still equally blind. They will always work on the lagging data. And we give them until Q2 2023. By then, they messed up their job. The world goes into global recession, exactly what Musk is talking about here. And then we sustain 1 year of pain to 2024. All right? Let's say what I just described to you plays out. My question to you is, can you handle it? With that in mind, let me play you some music to comfort. Holy moly. And let's welcome those of you who just joined us today. Really look forward to see who's live in the audience right now. Holy moly. All right, let me fire off the first message. Oops. Welcome back. All right. Oops. We got to fire one more time. Hang on a minute. Welcome back. Okay, let me pay my regards and my greetings to one and all who join us today. Welcome, Bokui, Angel, May. Kind of miss you a few rounds already. Christopher, Calvin, Manfred, and I see Wilson, Ivan, Milton, Shane, John, Fabian, Karen, and Ryan, Christopher. Who else on the board? Kini, Kim San, John Lim, Isabella, Angel, Ken Pang, and Kelvin, Gerald, Ronnie, Chuman. Wow, welcome back, all of you. So I asked a very, very important question. What I just illustrated to you, the timeline between Q4 this year, entering to Q2 next year, entering to Q2 2024, and finally, we're going to have hopefully, I pray, a change of president in November 2024. We got to get rid of the current bunch of idiots who mismanage the inflation. All right. So, I mean, I got not much nice words to say because clearly they took 1 year to convince us inflation is not a problem. I got misled as well. All right. I got only myself to blame that I'm not smart enough to kind of detect the signals out there. And I look at it, I say, okay, it's a journey I got to go through. It's a baptism of fire. We just got to go through it. It is what it is. No point keep looking back and think about, wow, what if I done this, done that? No, no. Every decision we have made it with wisdom. We made it with the foresight and insight that we have. We connected the dots and we live with it. All right. So thank you everyone for joining us here. And Hiram badly needed a heart transplant. Oh, brain transplant. So I shall invite you to watch Indiana Jones, where they ate the brains out of a monkey. All right, kind of bring back very fond memories of Indiana Jones. So go and get it. All right. So I believe all of you are well. Now we are not done on Tesla yet. I want to finish off Tesla and I'm going to bring up the most important article for today. Thank you everyone for joining us here tonight. All right. So let's come back here. We are still on Elon Musk and Tesla and the global recession. And we kind of flip down right over here. And I want to bring out every single thing that all these titans are talking about the recession. All right. The second person is Jeff Bezos. It's time to batten down the hatches. In preparation for rough economic waters ahead, the tweet accompanied a video of Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon, who said in a CNBC interview that he thinks there's a good chance of a recession in the US. Now, we already spoke about this since April this year because that was the first time we experienced an inverted yield curve. Historically, the inverted yield curve has been proven correct. Once you spot the inverted yield curve, it will precede 12 to 18 months later a recession. Now, is it going to be a soft or hard recession or sustained recession? Today, we got some gauge. Elon Musk thinks that it's going to kind of be painful for about 1 year, all right, until it hits spring. So thereby, we are able to look at Q2 2023 to Q2 2024, that 1 year of pain, okay? And then we have JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, has also been warning about economic turmoil ahead. So you combine all these head honchos, they have a global foresight and insight and intelligence. They say, okay, we take it as what they say is true. All right? And you read this really, really strange paragraph right here. The US actually is, in North America, in pretty good health, he said. And that's Elon Musk. A little bit of that is raising interest rates more than they should, but I think they'll eventually realize that and bring back down, I think, which we kind of nail down a time frame for that. That will be in the window of Q2 2023. I believe it will hit terminal rate. However, he said China is in quite a burst of a recession of sorts driven by the real estate market, while Europe. So let's talk about China first. I addressed this point. Those of you who missed the series, the property market has to be down until Xi Jinping takes control. We are still waiting for the 9-man superheroes to be presented on this Sunday, all right? Then that is the official. He would have stabilized the internal party members. He has sidelined the Hu Jintao camp because the Hu Jintao camp is back by the most powerful property developer in China. And that's why Xi Jinping needs the property market to go down, freeze the entire country so that movement of money is reduced, extend the zero COVID-19 policy so that his enemies cannot touch him. That is the art of Chinese politics. So this will sustain. At least I got a reason for this. Kind of been fed by Chinese insiders. While Europe has a recession of sorts driven by energy, this is Europe's own problem. And they only got themselves to blame because why? They didn't stop the advancement of Ukraine wanting to join NATO. They breached that line. They had a good relationship with Russia. Germany and Russia had a good relationship because Nord Stream 1 pipe was already sending gas to Europe through Germany. Nord Stream Pipe 2 was already completed, waiting for Parliament to approve, and then the whole mess of the US coming in to trigger Ukraine to apply to join for NATO, that triggered the war. So they got themselves to blame. That's it, period. That is the problem of Europe right now. And in UK, even more complicated. I heard they're going to bring Boris Johnson back. Wow. Do you mean in Oxford and Cambridge they cannot produce enough learned individuals to run the country? I don't know what's happening right now. I mean, kind of sad because all of us kind of graduated from Cambridge O levels and Cambridge A levels. We got a Cambridge certificate. Yet the country is in a mess, right? Kind of scratch my head, right? Come on, we work so hard. 6 years primary school, 4 years secondary school, 10 years of our life to earn an O-levels Cambridge certificate. Plus another 2 years, 12 years of our life to earn an A-level certificate from Cambridge. 12 years of our life to earn from Cambridge, and the country is in a mess. Can't click on that. How many of you are handling this well? So, the selection of school of which you want to further your studies is really important. I kind of spread my bets out. So 12 years of my life just to earn a Cambridge O-levels and an A-level certificate that will give us the entry to go to university, right? And then I went on to pursue a Bachelor of Engineering degree from Nanyang Technological University because I wanted to continue my father's tradition. He's a graduate from NTU as well. And I say, okay, I'm the son. I want to continue father's tradition. By the time I finished, I say I need to look at US, and I went on to enroll into the MBA of University of Louisville, Kentucky, the Cardinals. Great time there. I wrote my business plan, launched my first business from the MBA class. And then I say, okay, I got a UK Cambridge, I got a US MBA, I got a Singapore engineering. Maybe I should look at Australia because I kind of love surfer's paradise. And I went to Canberra to do my PhD, finish it off, got my bachelor, master's, PhD, but I'm still not really contented. I say I want to go to the best in the world, and that's where I'm right now, Harvard Business School. Hopefully next year I'll graduate, all right? But if all your bets are on Oxford, Cambridge, and you look at the country right now, you kind of scratch your head. Doesn't make sense. Why am I talking about this? Because I realized that our affiliation with universities kind of give us the social ties that we wanted very much to extend our network. And that's why we kind of proclaim we are proud alumni members of this university, that program, different things, right? And it doesn't stop us from getting to know faculty members from other universities as well. Tonight I had a really, really wonderful dinner with a most brilliant man, the number one guy in logistics from Marshall School of Business, Professor Nick. And I brought him to, I want to tell him the story of how a crab company or crab restaurant that just sell crab can actually become a public listed company in Singapore. I brought him to Jumbo Restaurant. I think he loved it. We had chili crab and we had black pepper crab. But from the conversation, you know, it is important that we align correctly. I'm kind of aligned with the Western thinking of going out all out to pursue your dreams, and also kind of anchored in the roots of Chinese history. So that's where we are in Singapore. We are kind of hybrid. We are trained in English and Chinese from young until today, and we get to see both viewpoints. And I think that is one of the most unique USP of Singaporeans. We get to understand what the Chinese are thinking. We also got to understand what the Westerners, like the Americans, are thinking. And we stand in the center bridge, trying to connect ideas from both camps. Because when I look at China, I think about Chinese, I read Chinese. When I look at US, I think in English and I read in English. And I hear in the middle, I'm trying to converge these two and say, make sense of what is happening in the world. I can see both sides of their stories. And I try my best to give a neutral view so that you are not one-sided and you think that Singapore is part of China. So many a times when I bring up the whole issue about how this war of Ukraine got started, blame it on the Americans because that is the truth. They wanted to destroy the Nord Stream 1 and 2, and they did it. The pipes were destroyed. Who in the world has the military capability to go deep dive into the deep sea, burst both pipes? Not just one, both. Boom. Who got the time and resources and the intelligence and the weapons to do that? You go and ask yourself, all right? So always see from both sides. And that's the reason why I always say we have to study what the Chinese are doing, and then we got better insights. And that's the reason why Elon Musk is pro-China, because his biggest, most profitable gigafactory in the world is Giga Shanghai. He understands the Chinese. That's brilliant. All right? So I kind of want to finish this series on Tesla, bring back my Tesla chart, and kind of show you all one last glimpse, because today is day 99. Tomorrow is day 100. I'll be finishing this series, and I want to leave you in good hands so that you see open eyes. This is the all-important price point of $200. Katie Wood is holding it up. Many fans of Tesla is holding it up. And, my conversation with the US professor, he was telling me the waiting list to buy a new Tesla in the US is about 6 months. And you go and cross-verify that. The moment you own a new Tesla, you put it back to the market, you can flip and earn a profit. That is the demand of Tesla, all right? So you look at the price point right here, 200, and all this about recession into spring of 2024, you just have to answer one question. Can you handle pain? If yes, the answer is itself. If no, that's the answer itself as well. How much pain can you take? All right? So I want to tell you, I invest. Oftentimes, I look at the entrepreneur behind the company, and I cannot find another Superman like Elon Musk. You try to show me another Superman like Elon Musk, and he kind of, pass maybe it's a sarcastic remark at Warren Buffett. He said, I actually build products. I'm actually an engineer. I don't just put my money into companies. I actually build them. That's the respect. So you decide on this call whether are you for Tesla or are you against Tesla. There's no sitting on the fence, because for Tesla means you want to protect Mother Earth, you are going to the direction of electric vehicle, and you believe technology will lead the world. If you are against Tesla, means continue drive your gasoline cars, petroleum cars, oozing harm to the planet Earth and depreciating in value. And most importantly, you don't believe in technology, because we have a great conversation. All the traditional car manufacturers from Toyota, Nissan, Ford, General Motors, how come none of them is the leader of EV? Yet a black horse like Tesla, with no background experience in car manufacturing, popped out of nowhere, became the leader. Have you asked this question? It is almost like me asking, have you heard of this camera called Kodak? Right? Gone. Boom, it's gone. They are the market leader at the peak of their time, of their season. Today, you ask any millennials, have you heard of Kodak? No, they say, what is Kodak? Have you heard of BlackBerry? What is BlackBerry? Can I eat BlackBerry? These are the companies that lag behind. So the innovator, the technologies is what I'm betting on. You go and find someone better than Tesla, please share with me, post in our YouTube comment, I'll invest alongside with you. But it must be better than Tesla. I tell you, answer right now is none. Zero, cannot. Okay? I'm done on Tesla. And just want to make sure all of you are still alive. Oh, are you still alive? Are you alive? Fire away! Are you alive? I'm very grateful to all of you. You all stay up late on a Friday to support this program. I'm very, very touched and very, very grateful. And I never take for granted. I want to make sure I deliver the best value to you. So, I kind of, at this moment in time, I want to like log in into my Facebook account, right? And just to show you, I I recently started to become a bit more active on Facebook, and then what I want to achieve out of Facebook is this. I think it is important that we document certain journeys of our life, right? So this is the most important passage in the Bible to me. Keep this book of the law always on your lips, meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful. Which other book in the world can you find a guarantee that you'll be prosperous and successful? So if you click on the cover image, that's Joshua chapter 1, verse 8. For those of you who want to kind of get the actual reading, I encourage you to go and read Joshua chapter 1. You can also read Psalms chapter 1. Both of them are written in the same manner about being prosperous and successful. Okay? Then I kind of go down, and this is the professor I had dinner with tonight. Very, very smart guy, top-notch thinker in the area of logistics. And he's also invited by the Singapore government. He had meetings with Deputy Prime Minister and talk about logistics in Singapore, right? And then we go down right over here. Every now and then I'll just put up, prayer requests, and kind of help me go through each day. And then I go down right over here. This was my yesterday meeting with my classmates from Harvard Business School, and then go down right over here. Some more meetings, some more meetings with my classmates, some more meeting with my dear friend right here, and this was my boy dancing and all that. So I just wanted to document this journey and want to get a bit more serious about it, thereby leading us to the most important article for today. All right. So thank you every one of you for participating in the live chat. Let me right now go and find the match. Have you done your homework about the most important article of the day? So this our challenge. I hope that 100 days kind of give you that habit and the momentum to keep doing it. All right. So this is really important. So here we go. Stay invested in cheap stocks, says one fund manager who reveals how he's trading the sector. I covered this about a few days ago on semiconductor chips, and it's good we kind of come in to review what other people are thinking about this particular sector. Right. So right now, out of 11 sectors, we really have to do a damn good job. We can't really play all 11 sectors. We're going to nail it down. Typically, I look for like prime numbers. All right, 1, 3, 5, that kind of number. So semiconductor is one big sector on its own, which I share with you all is hit the bottom. It can't ever go any more lower. From that point, it has to go up because the demand will pick up eventually. All right. So here we go. Where valuations are, if it were a modest portion of the portfolio, then I would be comfortable owning them until such time that we have more news to make better informed decisions. He manages two funds overseeing 1.6 billion in assets. All right. So what is the stock? Here we go. We were talking about it just a few days ago. Taiwan Semiconductor, TSMC. All right. We've gone through the chart and I don't have to repeat that. This must be in the portfolio, right? And it talks about the historical boom and bust cycles of semiconductor chip sector. During economic growth, consumer demand for computers, laptops, and phones outstripped semiconductor manufacturing capacity, making the sector very profitable. Conversely, chip prices crashed during a recession, bringing down the company revenues. So, what are we attempting to do right here? We are connecting the dots. We say, okay, if Elon Musk is true and correct, we're going to have a 1-year painful recession, Q2 2023 to Q2 2024. By then, it will recover and prepare us for the presidential election in November 2024. Right? Now, if you look at a cycle, does it make any sense to invest right now? That's the question. Is it now? Is it next year or 2024? But you and I know, out of the tossing of the coin, if any one of the four wars that I'm talking about breaks out, any one, China war, oil war, inflation war, and finally the nuclear war, right? Semiconductor chip will kind of be beaten up because consumer demand will go down. Then where does it stand? Because we know US is fighting China against the development of better, cheaper, smaller, smarter chips. It's an all-out chip war right now between US and China. So they have to make sure any of the semiconductor chips on the US side, they have to survive. They cannot let it go down. All right, so that's my thinking. They do not allow any semiconductor chip company based in the US to go down because it is deemed as a national asset. It is deemed as a competitive edge to fight against China. So I want to think about the worst case. Can he go bankrupt? Can he become an Enron or whatever nonsense, all right? So what is the worst for semiconductor chip? The worst is the government will never let it die. Okay? So then our job is to find the floor. Where's the price floor? So let me go down some more, because today on a Friday night, I know you guys like to sleep late, so I better give you more things to think about, make you sleepless. We typically invest in what we feel are the market leaders that have generated the best returns through time and have the strongest management teams and ability to continue to generate good returns, all right? So we connected two dots already, TSMC and Apple and AMD. Three names being brought up, pong, right here. Okay, you've seen it, all right? And in fact, they are all predicting a 50% upside for the stock. They are talking about TSMC right here. Okay? All this big debate whether China is going to reunify Taiwan, all this big debate, TSMC is expecting a 50% upside for the stock. They will not allow this guy to go down. That is my thesis that I want you to be alerted of. Okay? Then you go on down, companies that specializes in manufacturing chips known as RAM. Micron is another company that cannot go down. Okay? And we continue to go down. And of course, we have the one that is most condemned right now. Intel cannot afford to go down. Okay? So it doesn't hurt to have a regulatory tailwind referring to the 52 billion aid through the Chips and Science Act to give US-based chip companies a competitive edge to fight against Chinese chip companies. That is the reason why the sum it up is expected to benefit companies such as Intel and Global Foundries. So this is a big part of the thinking behind semiconductor chip. Today, I just give you a teaser, a prelude. But the details of my sharing will be presented in the keynote, all right? So I want to show you when is my keynote coming up. That will be at the Spiking Alpha Conference 2022, taking place on the 4th of November at Capital Tower, home of the Sovereign Wealth Fund Temasek. And if you are interested to find out more, simply go to spiking.com/alpha. All right, let me just kind of put this thing out, and you guys can visit this very beautiful webpage. Spiking.com/alpha. Right, here we go. Look at the beautiful ticker symbol below there. You can either scan the QR code or simply go and register at spiking.com/alpha. All right, so I will be really going in depth my thinking behind all the important sectors that we have to play and how we're going to ride out this period. Super important. Riding out this period, absorbing the pain, and making us a much, much, much better investor and trader. Any of the jokers out there telling you avoid the market, don't have to go through the pain, let me tell you, they are doing a big disservice to you. You cannot become a better trader or investor without going through the valley of the shadow of death. Because emotionally, you're not attached in the journey with us. For those of you who hang out in there, and I really applaud you, you are trading with me every night. And we really look at the market head on. I mean, we are not avoiding the market. Every time the market presents the data, we look at it head on. And then we make decisions behind it, right? Wow, I've got to drink more water. So it's pretty dehydrated. So that's what I want to present here tonight. We got one more day to go, which is tomorrow. And I urge you guys back to come back for the day 100, all right? Maybe I will pop in a little bit of surprise and all that. But I need to share the plan after that. What's going to happen after we finish this 100 days of the stock market inspiration? And what's the next step? I'll be revealing that tomorrow night. And I want to thank you, all of you who show up tonight. Thank you for supporting us in the 100-day stock market inspiration. And may God bless you. Thank you and have a great evening. Goodbye, everybody.